The Washington Commanders crushed the Tennessee Titans with the final score of 42-19, snapping their 3-game losing streak. And the Uptown Federal, I heard it was jumping in it today. What it was looking like, Z?
It definitely was jumping. They got these flags, these raised hell flags they gave out today. I had two. I had grabbed one for my man Reedie. Couldn't make it today, but it was a kid beside us who was waving his flag and it flew away. So I had to be the good Samaritan and help him out. So I gave Reedie's to the young fella. But flags was flying. Jayden Daniels dropping bombs all over the field. I mean, we had a great game today. The atmosphere was right. It just felt like it felt the first 9 games where we was coming in, taking care of business and walking away with a victory. But before we get into it, we definitely want to shout out my man John from Ballin In Burgundy Podcast. Always a pleasure to have you on, bro. And let's get right to it. Reedie, you had the house seat. The best seat out here. You saw things I couldn't see. What you see today?
What I saw today was what we asked for last week when we were on with Rio on Monday, and what we said on our recap last Sunday. Running the football, doing what got us here, to the tune of 267 yards on 45 carries, 3 touchdowns combined from our quarterback and our running backs. We're averaging 5.9 yards a carry. Those are the things that's the recipe to success. And we've seen that we were able to get to our quick game or our supposedly hurry up game. Also, we've seen Terry McLaurin come out there with 2 touchdowns himself. So it was up. I wasn't expecting the victory this magnitude coming out, hitting them in the mouth the way we did. But the things that we asked for, everything we asked for last week came to fruition this week. The defense gave us those short fields, and this week we were able to capitalize on them.
Absolutely. Cliff definitely came out cooking today. Like you said, early on the first downs, we were able to get, meanable yards. Ended up in the second and shorts. First and the second down was pretty much like a piece of cake today. We had a few 3rd and 1s, 3rd and shorts that we was able to convert, and it just made the offense overall more fluent. We kept the pace, we kept the tempo, we ran hurry up. Everybody just looked comfortable. On his first carry, I believe it was the first carry, Brian Robinson went up the sideline and got that touchdown. Beautiful run. First play of the game, we threw the ball. We came out, threw the ball straight to Terry. Got him involved early, as you stated. He had 8 targets, 8 receptions, 2 tutties. So it was great to see Terry definitely come back and have a bounce back game where they talked about over the last 3 games. I think he might have had like 21 targets total or something like that. But yeah, he was able to get in the mix and do his thing. Everybody ate today for real. Even C-Rod. So it was just a happy day in Uptown Federal. The offense moved the ball and the defense definitely showed up early on. And we're gonna get more into it. But John, how did you feel today from what you saw?
Man, I was watching the game and I'm going down thinking, okay, first drive, 10 yards to Terry, 9 yards to Noah Brown, and then a 40-yard rush by Rob. I was like, all right, good, great. This is what we want to see the past 5 weeks. We hadn't seen this since week 7 against Carolina, week 8 since Chicago. Just consistent run, like quick run. And then we get to 14. I'm like, all right, this is the second ranked defense according to Fox and ESPN. They're one of the best run defenses in the league. B-Rob go gets one. Jayden go gets one. Terry go gets one, and then it's 21-0 first quarter. I'm like, did we somehow find the Infinity Stones? Did we somehow find the Dragon Balls? Did we uplift the Ben 10 watch? Did we somehow figure out how to play football for once? And then it turned to 28-7. I'm like, all right, that touchdown to West Burgundy for before halftime was all right, but I was like, I couldn't remember a time we had started this hot, this fast.
Yeah,
I think even all season, this might have trumped that Carolina game where it was 40-7 because that was with Mariota. If we had Jayden, I think we'd have won that game a little bit more. But Jayden looked healthy. You could not tell B-Rob was having ankle issues. You could not tell the way he was running. C-Rog getting I think 93 total rush yards, almost having 2 100-yard rushers in one game as a third string running back. This just tells me, and remember, he was cut a week or so ago and brought back when Eckler went on IR. So we're thinking, no Eckler is going to take a step back. This game could not tell Eckler was missing.
Correct.
Couldn't tell.
Yeah, definitely. Go ahead, Reedie.
We didn't even need that Eckler effect of the back out of the backfield scripted in plays this week. We killed them and clearly with the run game. We didn't need all of that third down backs and everything. Our efficiency rate on first and second down was out of this world. Jayden completed 83.3% of his passes. He was 25 of 30. He was back. This was back to the offense that we've seen of old of the first 9 weeks of the season, minus the last 3 games. Jayden also is the first rookie quarterback in history with a completion percentage of 80% or more. This is our first home victory since December 2017. That's 7 years ago. So we're finally playing meaningful football in December. It feels good, fellas. It feels really good.
It definitely felt good, man. Definitely. Just to come out and just smack them people in the face. 21 skunk. I'm in there yelling, we skunked these people. Then we get 28. And they scored right before the half. So it was kind of but we stayed in there. For the most part, the offense moved the ball. And I talked about in my notes, I loved how the offensive line created holes for the lanes for the running backs, and also Jayden himself. Jayden was able to on some QB keepers. He kept the option. He had a couple of QB runs, and he did his thing. Even McNichols got in and did a little bit. So shout out to the offensive line for that, and to have 30 attempts. I'm not sure. Did he? I think he might have got sacked maybe once. Out of all the dropbacks, twice. Cool. So yeah, out of all the dropbacks, so he was definitely, he had a pretty clean day overall. And it was great to see, like we said, just to kind of get back into that motion and that rhythm that we had. But you look at the overall, just we just was clicking on all cylinders. Ertz got a touchdown. Terry got 2. Jayden had 1. C-Rob had 1. B-Rob had 1. Like, we was just putting up numbers. So it was definitely great to see, man. Definitely great.
And Tennessee, they helped us out with all of the penalties that they had throughout, the first part of the game. But, again, one of the things I wanted to pose to you, John, what do you think about us? I feel like we took our foot off their neck a little bit and allowed them to kind of climb back slowly into this game a little bit. Before that Jayden scored that the second before the last touchdown. Well, a touchdown before C-Rob scored a touchdown. I thought we were just kind of like letting them hang around. And I was feeling in my heart was like, damn, like, are we going to do the same thing we did last week in Dallas? With Dallas, you know what I'm saying? Or with the previous teams, let them hang around, and then squeak it back in at the end?
Yeah, it was interesting. If you guys are watching on YouTube or Instagram, I'm just going to mute myself so I don't get that ring back like last time. But it felt off coming out of the second half because we're up 28-7, which really should have been 31-7 if Gonzalez doesn't miss that first field goal. Which we'll talk about special teams later. So I'm thinking, all right, first drive, we go 3 and out. Not ideal, but you know what? You got to carry so much momentum. Got to start bringing us back down to earth just a little bit. And then we go give him Nick Folk field goal. I'm like, all right, 28-10 doesn't feel where, it's so far out of reach that we've got to start climbing back. And then 28-13 comes. I'm like, all right, how are we letting them score the entire third quarter? And then we miss another field goal. I'm like, all right, we should be up 34-35 at this rate. To where, how are you letting your foot off so much to where you're letting the Mayo Man, Mr. sauce you up? The way, because gotta have credit where credit is due. Will Levis is playing great football these past 3 weeks.
Yeah,
he's played
definitely.
He was balling today. 18 of 30, like, not great number, but 18 of 37, 212, 2 touchdowns. Like, you would take that if you're still rebuilding a team. You can't complain with that. That's better than what? Daniel Jones, Bryce Young, Dalton, Cooper Rush.
He was a whole nother quarterback second half. First half, they couldn't really get no rhythm going.
Nope.
You know what I mean? I think it was one point I saw it was, and I could read it to you. I definitely took the notes. But it was saying through 2 possessions, Will Levis was 3 of 5 for 3 yards. One of his completions was a tip pass to an O-lineman. So, you know what I mean? They struggled when he started out. You know, our defense came out striking and holding them. But second half, he kind of opened up a little bit.
He did.
And, you know what I mean? He got that momentum going into the half with the touchdown to Westbrook. But, yeah, Levis, he you know, second half, he was a different quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching this game pretty much as close as I could get without being there like Reed. But for the first quarter stats, we had 102 rushing yards, 61 pass yards, 163 total yards to their 24 total yards. No turnovers, 8 first downs, and we scored 21. That was tied most in the first quarter in team history. Anytime we're balling to the tune of 14 to 20 points in the first quarter, the first half, oh, week 1, let's make a little bit of history. Week 2, let's make a little bit of history. Week 3, let's make a little bit of history. Week 4, let's make a little bit. Week 5, week 6, not necessarily week 7, 8, 9, 10, or 11, or 12, but 13 right back on track.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Great to see. Great to see for sure. You know what I mean? Even, you know what I mean, if you look at it from the standpoint of, you know, Noah Brown, I didn't see much drops today on his end. You know what I mean? I think Zacchaeus might have got a catch or two. Diami, you know, he had a few key catches. He had a great PI that he calls to get us down when Terry caught the slant. You know what I mean? Just Ertz was getting in the mix. Our guys, the ball was moving around the field today. And it was definitely good. Definitely good.
Yeah, I would say Cliff has bought himself another week because the jury was out on Cliff around social media. Everybody's saying, you know, this curse of the second halves of Cliff in his offenses. So we even seen the flea flicker to Jayden,
Man,
and he ended up bumping off to Noah Brown. Like, I was like, oh, Cliff dialing it up. And I seen that play, but you know, I was like, let me hold my horses. Let me stay a little calm. He ain't really dialing it up. Let's just see. You know, great shape going into a bye, much needed bye. You know, before we get on the defense, like, how big is this for us, John?
I think considering the 3-game skid mark, we had it going Philly, Pittsburgh, Dallas. We needed this momentumly wise. If we had fallen to 7-6 going into week 14, you can make a legitimate case. We go 2-2, 1-3 to finish out the season, which gets us to 8 wins. Having momentum going in, my voice, Lord, having momentum going into the bye week, especially such a late bye week when Eckler's on IR, B-Rob was playing 90%, you know, successful. Wiley was out. Lattimore still hasn't played, but we'll talk about, like I said, we'll talk about defense later. Is you want a win going in because now you guys want to get healthy. You want guys to practice. You want guys to be like, all right, you know, week 15, New Orleans coming up, you know, let's go down to the Bayou and take care of business. And if we had lost, you would have lost. Cliff would have started losing out locker room fast. People would have turned on Jayden the way they keep turning on quarterbacks like soured milk. But Bo Nix has 3 Pepsi of the weeks in a row. Ain't Jayden have like 6 in a row, 7 in a row by now?
Yeah.
Although
straight. Yeah, for sure.
But I love me some Bo Nix. I don't want to take anything away from Bo Nix. He's balled out for Denver. So I ain't gonna take credit where credit is due. But I think having momentum going into it feels a whole lot better than us sitting here going, we've lost 4 straight to a bad or a decent Steelers team, to a bad Cowboys team, and then we've been to a bad Titans team. Now we can at least say, you know what? 3-game skid mark. We had to come back down to reality. Now we're back on this. Now we're back on track.
Yeah, definitely felt good to be back on track. And I mean, the defense has definitely been keeping us through some tough L's. I think, you know what I mean, over the last about 5 to 6 weeks, the defense definitely been stepping up. I mean, you had some moments here and there where they might have gave up a big play here and there, but for real, they've been carrying the torch. So it was great to see the offense kind of come back and offer that complimentary football with the special teams doing a solid as well. But you know what I mean, as we roll into the defense, you know what I mean, you got to talk about from the first play to second play, Frankie Louvu was just going crazy. What's up?
I don't want to cut you off, but before we get into the defense, we got to talk about the elephant in the room, and that being Zane Gonzalez. Where are we at right now with our kicking game? Maybe our previous kicker that we sent to the IR, maybe he was on to something. Maybe his worry was correct, that he needed to be in there because he was scared of his job. But clearly his job wasn't that at hand, because Gonzalez, I don't know what he was doing today. I mean, it's just like in a tougher game, against the Eagles or the Saints or somebody down the stretch, a game that we must win, those missed field goals are going to be pivotal for points that we need to put on the board. So what's y'all guys' opinion on that? Do we go out and shop for another kicker? Do we bring people in during the bye week to work out? What do we do there? Or do we just stick with them?
I mean, you definitely want to continue to see what's available, but I feel like we should know who's out there. I mean, as much as, we've been flip-flopping kickers over the last few weeks. So you should know what the market is. I mean, the bye week comes, you may be able to possibly get somebody else in and that maybe, wasn't available for some. I don't know. But I think for real, if it was somebody else better out there, we would have got him. You know what I mean? It just, kicking this year has been way crazy. I mean, look at Tucker. You know what I mean? He's having a horrible year. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know what's going on overall, but I mean, everybody got kicker problems for real. And I mean, we continue to have them, and I would love to see us solidify. But I think that, you roll with Gonzalez until, he does something like cost you a game. He hasn't, I mean, he missed some field goals, but he hasn't cost us anything significant.
I mean, Cyber, you can make an argument cost us. Dallas game missing 2 field goals and a PAT, but, it's neither here nor there at this rate. We were scoring so much, I don't think it caused us to have cause to pause. If it was 15-13 at halftime and he had missed 2 field goals, and I've been like, all right, who hurt this man? Who broke his heart? Who took his mojo? Who took the leg and gave it to Nick Folk? Because who here having Nick Folk, kicking bets? Nobody. But you can shop as much as you want. The Chiefs are on their third kicker. The Jets are on their third kicker. I think the Giants are on their second. I mean, in the NFC East alone, I think there have been 10 kickers throughout the 4 teams. But Zane's in money all year. Reed, you were in stadium, if I remember correctly. Was it particularly windy or shady or just bad elements? Because it looked relatively normal on TV.
Nah, it wasn't. I was there. It wasn't like windy to affect the kick. No, I mean, it was cold. It was definitely cold. I mean, his toes might have been freezing and his feet or something, but I mean, other than that, nah, he should have been making the field goals. You know what I mean? What, the first one he missed was like a 51 or something like that, and the second one was a little shorter. So I mean, definitely some kicks that he should have and could have made. But nah, it was no wind effect at all.
Yeah, I disagree with you guys on waiting until it comes to a point where it costs us a game. That's too late for me. That's too late for me to cost us a game. Every game down the stretch matters. Every single game that's left is positioning. I don't know if you guys looked at the playoff picture, but we're pretty much, no matter what we do, we're probably going to be the 7th seed regardless. And then that's a matchup with Philadelphia. So, because Detroit's going to have the bye. And I'm not saying I want to look too far ahead in the playoffs, but that's always in the back of my mind, the playoffs, because that's the ultimate goal, to get to the playoffs and make a run. But all of these points matter. Like, it's the time of the year where we can't have no mistakes and we can't let nothing go slide. You know what I mean? And if these guys, Seibert or Gonzalez, are going to miss kicks, then I'd rather now Go out and bring somebody in that can get the job done. We thought Cyber was the guy, but he's injured. We thought Gonzalez was. I told you weeks ago, I was a little shaky on Gonzalez because knowing his track record, he tends to miss a lot. His track record when he was with Arizona, I remember the guy. He used to miss. So I always had pause with him. So maybe that's why I'm a little up in the wind about, this Gonzalez guy. But to me, I feel like, we need to bring somebody in. We need to continuously make this team better. We cut a first round draft pick in his second year, 1.5 years. So to me, I feel like we need to do anything we can do to win, because that's the name of the business, win. It's week to week in this league. And 1 week we may need them field goals. Think back to when Cyber came in against the Giants. We kicked all field goals. But if we're missing field goals, we don't get those points.
Yeah, definitely. You make a key point, in reference to that for sure. Because field goal points super duper matter. The biggest thing today, it just didn't affect us much, so it didn't hurt us. So I don't see them, making any changes. I think, it just seems like they're not going to make any changes until it's like, shit hits the fan. In
Drastic,
a sense.
yeah.
Yeah, hits the fan. So we'll see how that go for, moving forward. But I think he'll be around.
Yeah, he probably won't be cut or released, this week or during the bye. But if we have to kick 5 field goals in, against New Orleans and we miss 3 of them, you're gonna need either a backup on standby, you're gonna need to pull a Kansas City Justin Reed and have someone who can kick for you, or you go for 2 every time like the Detroit Lions. If it's 4th and 1, I say go for it. Because again, worst that happens, you turnover on downs. But if you kick it and you miss, now you're down 3 and they take over relatively where he was kicking. So either way, if you mess up, you mess up. But at least one way you can keep going. But I just don't see us going for a 4th, 5th kicker in the same season at this rate, when Cyber, for the most part, has been one of the better kickers in the league this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with that. I think my pause is Gonzalez. I don't know if Cyber may be out. It's going to be out another 3 weeks. So these may be games that we have to win. And if Gonzalez is going to be shaky, he was 20 for 20 going into today. So I'm just saying though, like going down the stretch, like we need every game. We need every game to get in these playoffs. I don't want no hiccups. We need to win everything. We already that Pittsburgh game that we lost, that Dallas game that we lost, that was our room for error. We have no more error. No one.
Agreed for sure. But it's just go back to that thing of like, is it really somebody else better out there?
That's true.
Yeah, because it's just I would assume that they would have known, or they would have brought him in if it was. And they picked, they picked Gonzalez after Cyber got hurt. So yeah.
Well, D-Block in the chat is saying we are more dangerous scoring 2 than leaving it up to kickers to win us the game. And I agree. But at the same time, the odds of you getting those 2s and those play calls that they had down there for 2 are slim to none. You maybe had 5 plays that they feel comfortable with going for 2 each week or so. So if you're putting up a high scoring game, then we're averaging what? Most of the time, 30 points a game, you want to say? 28, 30 points a game?
Something like that, yeah.
So,
for sure. Double check your mic too, Reedie.
What's wrong with my mic?
You sound like you're coming through the computer.
Yeah, sometimes just a little off.
I was texting you. But yeah, let me check and see some comments over here too on the IG side.
Yeah. Kate Wetchell. I'm sorry, mispronounced that name.
They deserve to buy.
Well, that, and then went on to say the kicking was so all over against the Cowboys, both sides. Let's be honest, we both should have lost that game last week.
Yeah, they just handed us the game, and we just didn't want it. We like, here, take it back.
I didn't realize we were playing Plaxico Burress to shoot ourselves in the foot.
Yeah. We did what we were supposed to do, held to the HCTCR.
Kicker
That's
needs to
what's
be
up.
addressed.
That
It
Jayden
might,
really
it might
showed.
not.
Jayden really showed up today. Let's keep it rolling and finish the season strong.
Heck yeah.
Dub. We go to the playoffs. I love how Jayden ran it himself, but also protects himself and doesn't take his hits. Go ahead, John. You got something on that?
I'm gonna assume. I'll just say the name. I don't want to assume anything. Kate's on the money on that one. He didn't take any unnecessary hits. I think there might have been one late-ish hit later on in the game when he had thrown the ball and he might have gotten hit by a Arden keep. I think they called that roughing the passer anyways.
Mm-hmm.
But this game was probably one of his cleaner games in terms of in the pocket, running around, throwing on the run. Like he went 25 of 30 on passes. And I mean, one of those was an interception. So now you're at 26 of 30. But he wasn't taking big hits. He wasn't getting blown up like a Justin Fields does. The way Trevor Lawrence got was the right word I want to use on this. Destroyed by Azeez Al-Shahir. He didn't get concussed and sent to the locker room with the Pokemon Center with Nurse Joy. But I agree with Kate. Is he didn't take any unnecessary hits, and I think the O-line outside of the 2 sacks protected him as well as they really have almost all year.
Yeah. Definitely. Hopefully we look more dangerous after the bye. Forax Mike said that. Well deserved bye. Jayden looked like Jayden today, especially his running today. It was how he looked earlier this year. That's true. Do we think 10 wins get us in the offs? I think so. I think 10 wins get you in the mix, get you in the offs. Like a 7 or a 6 seed. It just got to depend on, how all the other chips fall, but I think so. You think 10 wins get us in, Reedie?
You would hope that it would get you in, but yeah, I think it gets us in, but it's just those little wins and losses because of the way the divisions and stuff is structured that gets me worried with the seeding. Me personally, after seeing, Philadelphia against the Raiders tonight, I don't want to have to play them more times than I have to. Me personally, but if we got a plan, we got a plan. I'd rather play somebody else in the playoffs than play them. Because defensively, I feel like they're one of the better defenses in this league. And I feel like we don't really match up well against them.
Yeah, for sure. And it's definitely, early on we was kind of baking, saying, yeah, we're going to get a home playoff game. We make these offs. The way the Eagles taking off is looking like we're going to be away wherever we're at. So, we got to get ready for that. Got to get ready for that for sure. But yeah, the defense. Man, the defense came out striking today. First 2 4-and-outs. The third drive, they got a fumble recovery by Mikey. Louisville was flying over everywhere. Every week. Guys just making plays. They're, like I said, the first half, their offense, what you say, John, they finished with what, like 20-some yards at the end of the first half?
They had 24 total yards the first half.
24 total yards, and just think about
it. Or the first quarter, excuse me, but I think they had less than
quarter.
50 in the by the half. I think they had less than 50.
Yeah. So defense was showing them up for sure. Got the fumble recovery. Mikey stayed active on that. It was just a beautiful play. They fought to the end with that one. But just overall, the guys just flying all over the field, doing their job. We definitely seen Quan go down. Hope he's okay. I'm not sure if he ended up coming back in the game, but Quan went down on that
shoulder.
Yeah, shoulder. He slightly got ran over and got hurt on that play. So hopefully Quan can hopefully Quan could bounce back from that. And Percy Butler came in and took over his reps after that. And I was surprised. I've been saying it all year, and Reedie just been laughing at me, but I've not seen Defoe on defense. Like, he just became a special teams guy, and it's like, damn, as soon as Quan got hurt, I'm like, all right, let's go, Defoe.
And
Here come Percy.
Come on,
Here
Butler's
come
coming
Percy.
in. Yeah,
Huh?
that was the third. That was the third safety. Anytime we're in a 3 safety look, Percy's in
Correct.
it. Percy's
yeah,
Bennett,
Correct.
well, it
and
should be my guy Tyler Owens coming in, but he's
Yeah,
playing
what's up
special
with
teams right now.
Owens?
Man,
Yeah.
see, this is where we got to get away from this. My guy and these favorites. It's the next person that's good. Like, come on, this
that's on me.
biases, man. We got
That's on me,
to
guys.
chill with these
It's
biases.
cool. No, I mean, I'm not mad that a guy like Quan get more reps. I mean, or Percy necessarily. I just, we got this defense, and they talk about bodies and getting the rotation going, and just for these guys not to be in the rotation, I just wonder what's going on in practice. But I mean, you keeping them on the team. You kept Defoe on the 53. You got him on almost all the special teams, but he's just not getting no defensive reps. And this is a guy that was solid.
I think Defoe was inactive like 2 or 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
The first few games to start the season, yeah.
I think he came off an injury in the beginning of the season, so that may have slowed him down, and they may have gotten others.
But he was practicing. He was practicing during training camp.
Yeah,
full practice. So it was, it was just puzzling. For sure.
I think Defoe helps you more. He's more of a chin type safety. Come down in the box. He's not really up from just going back over previous seasons. He'll get burnt in coverage from time to time, so I think that's more one of the reasons why we don't see him, because Chin's all over the field. They're blitzing Chin, they're bringing him down. He's up high. He's doing everything, and he doesn't come off the field. So where does that leave Defoe? I feel like Quan, Martin, and Percy, they're interchangeable. They're switching back and forth. You know what I'm saying? They're doing the same job. So like, if 20 comes off the field, then you got 35 back there. Or if they go with a 3 safety look when they're trying to stop the run and stuff like that. For the most part, and I think it just comes down to that, like who you feel more comfortable with in coverage. The back end has been a little bit better, over the last 4 or 5 weeks. So, do you want to mess with that? I don't think so. Just to say we're giving guys reps because they're quote unquote my guy or my man.
I think Percy he has more range though. He's faster than Defoe, and with Joe Witt and the different blitzes and the man-to-mans and the defensive schemes that he like to run, they want safeties to have that range. So that may be the case with Defoe. He doesn't have as much range as the Quans or the Percy. So that might be what it is.
I do think he can help you in the blitz game, though. I do think that you bring him down in the box as an extra linebacker. But who you taking off the field? Like it's attrition. Like who you taking off the field? Like I think that's what it all boils down to. Not that he's not a good player. He's a good player, clearly. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but it's just like, if me as a coach, who am I taking off the field for?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Not to sub him out and leave him in, but more so just a rotation. They talk about how it's only 11, but they play 30 guys sometimes. You know what I mean? Yeah. And he's not one of them. So it's
Defoe ain't one. We saw Michael Walker on that fumble recovery, but if you told me he had played the last 3 games,
I'm like, damn, he's still on the team. I ain't seen him.
You see Owens on special teams. You got another one of my guys. I'm taking 2 L's this season in Jordan McGee. My Twitter and YouTube people.
I like McGee.
Yeah,
I like McGee too, and I said he was gonna get the steal of the draft. I'm eating my words by like week 5.
He's like a developmental player, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
right. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't help he got injured, but I was like, I just want to see him on the field at least. If I can see one photo from like All Pro Reels or something with like McGee on the field, all right, I feel better. But
All Pro Reels.
That's my guy. I just want one photo. That's my guy.
You sound like Z with this guy, John Dawson. Don't get me started on that one.
Go ahead.
Dawson has like 100 yards on the season. I ain't worried about 83.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think it's the number, man. There's no way.
It's something because they're taking a receiver in the draft this coming year.
There's no way.
But no, Z is right. They rotate a bunch of dudes. I don't think you're far off with 30. I think it's probably closer to a 25, but you are not far off with 30. If we're talking guys on special teams coming in, your Michaels, your TOs, you got Armstrong, Fowler, JJB. And I'm tripping on one. You got like 4 or 5 D tackles in there with Allen out, and Mathis being a healthy scratch. So you elevate Carl Davis. We go through probably 3 or 4 practice squad elevations a week, and that probably gives us that 30-man rotation, which isn't a bad thing. That's something San Francisco does a lot. They love a deep rotation on the defensive line, which would be smart for us considering Allen's out, Mathis was coming off injury. JJB, Jamali Jean-Baptiste went on, injury for a little bit. I mean, the fan of me wants to see McGee and T.O. like get huge spotlights, but Reedie's absolutely right. Who are you gonna sub out? Who are you gonna take out? Who are you not gonna give quality reps to if they're playing good to great to all pro level? Like, I'm not taking Luvu off the field. That makes him be an all pro bowler this season. I'm not taking Wagner out. He just made history this game. All right, I'm not taking Newton off the field because he's getting good pressure. He's taking some double teams here and there. I'm not saying he's going to win them all, but he's taking double teams, let's say, 2 snaps on an entire drive. Well, that clears up Payne and Fowler for a little bit of something.
Yeah.
That's just me.
But hold on.
So let me let you guys think. So since we're talking about depth and players making plays on the defense, how do you guys feel Payne is coming along this season? Because I was giving him the benefit of the doubt in the beginning. I feel like he takes on the little double team. He's stout sometimes in there, but I'm just not seeing Payne really flash. Like today, like he got back there, he affected the one play, but Levis was able to get away, and then I think they credited Louisville for the sack after he got away from Payne. So what do you guys think what Payne is doing this season?
Yeah, Payne had a half a sack today. I mean, it goes back for me with Payne and when they was talking about John Allen in the beginning of the year. Joe Witt talked about how, like, for the D line, especially like the D tackles, like they just need to stay home and do their job, and plays would come to them. Whereas I think at other defenses they may have been more free, and be able to make moves and do their own thing and kind of go against staying in the gap or in a lane. Whereas in this defense, they have a specific job, and if they do their job, it'll come back to them or not. But they still, did what they were supposed to do. I think Payne is being caught up in that doing what he's supposed to do and just not racking up on the stat sheet. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, he just got that deal. 2-3 years ago? So everybody has this expectation that he's supposed to be as dominant as he was then. But I think it's just a whole different style and how he's being used. That's that's the reason for the lack of the numbers. But he's still active. He's still in the mix. He had a half a sack today, and he got on some pressures and other moments. So he is around. He just not standing out like he was.
Yeah. Well, they took away the 2 Fowler sacks because Will Levis was running. That's
what I was about to ask about Fowler. Like he had 2 plays back to back where they were sacks, and they're not on the stat sheet.
No, I think the reasoning is, and this is going to be because it's an ESPN and an NFL stat sheet, is he gave himself up as a runner. He took the ball, and as soon as he brought it up to where's my football? As soon as he took the snap and put it here and became a runner, it disqualifies the sack. If he had kept it here the whole time,
that's not true because even when they're trying to scramble, my understanding is if they get tackled behind the line of scrimmage, that's a sack.
Correct. That's what we saw in the game.
Yeah.
When we were standing and we thought, okay, that's the first sack. They even announced sack on the screen, and then the next play is when they hiked the ball, they muffed it, he fell on it, and touchdown. He went and tapped the guy, and they didn't give him the sack on that either. They're gonna have to put a claim in.
Yeah, there's something in the NFL rule book about becoming a runner and because on the stat sheet, Will Levis has 2 attempts for like -3 yards, which would have came from both of those plays.
Correct.
So there's something tweaky, because or else we would have had 4 sacks.
Yeah.
As a team.
Yeah, they playing with my man Fowler money.
Man, Fowler should have 10.5 sacks. Louisville should get up to 10 sacks. Both those men being Pro Bowlers. I'm calling it right now.
But they gave Louisville the sack on that play where I guess Payne got the half sack, where he grabbed him and Levis was stumbling.
Payne and Farrell had a half sack.
Yep.
And then Louisville has a whole sack.
When you guys go back and look rewatch, you'll see it's a play. I can't remember where it happened, but Levis is coming up the middle. I think Payne grabs him. He gets off the Payne, and he's like running up the middle. He like stumbles. And then I heard the broadcaster say, Frankie Louisville credited with the sack.
Yeah.
But they didn't show a replay, so you'll see it if you watch.
Yeah. He only got 1, and the other 2 got a half each, but it definitely was way more sacks on the board. That's questionable on that end. You know what I mean? And, you know what I mean? Somebody brought it up in the chat. And how do you guys feel about, the defense kind of letting up in the second half and allowing Tennessee to get more points on the board? And, you know what I mean? What was supposed to be it seemed like going to be a blowout. They kind of stayed around just enough to kind of keep us on our toes and keep Jayden in. Because for a second there, a lot of people were saying, well, yeah, we go up 35-0, Jayden's coming out, and yada yada, and you know what I mean, they stayed around. So
yeah. I would have taken Jayden out the last drive when Rodriguez got his touchdown, because you're up 35-13. Let Jayden have a breather, but then C-Rock gets his career best 14 rushes, 93 yards, and a touchdown. So now I don't want to take that away from him. But if for whatever reason if we hadn't scored 2 touchdowns in a row to make it 42, I would have said, all right, take Jayden out. He's done for the day. He's done his job. But defense, I don't know if they're missing a leader in the secondary. I don't know if like Wagner, whatever pregame he said on Wednesday did his magic, because we put up 42. Defense held them to under 100. And they held the Titans to under 245 total yards to our 463. So we are quite doubled, but something on defense isn't quite, I don't want to say clicking all cylinders, because we're putting up, we shut them down in the first half. But I don't know if there's just a leadership disconnect maybe, or something in the secondary. Like you let go of Forbes with ease, but there's no one to fill his slot. Like I would have kept Chiganuzium and brought him up, because Davis isn't playing great football, but he would have been better than Forbes. Something for me looks like it isn't clicking between the front 7 and the back 5, if that makes any sense.
I just feel like we got caught. We got caught a couple of times in man coverage. Mikey Sampson just got beat. St. Jude got beat. I mean, it happens. I mean, sometimes
St. Jude gave up the other touchdown. I know Mikey gave up one.
I don't think St. Jude gave up a touchdown. I think he got beat. I think he just got beat on a pass. It was a pass to Ridley, but it was an overthrow.
The overthrow?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, I saw that one, yeah.
But Mikey, he's playing inside leverage. The guy, he gives him a move to the inside, and he stops his feet, goes back outside, and he gets smoked. I mean, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was going to mention that today. I mean, I'm not no shade at Mikey or anything like that, but, I was going to mention that, had St. Jude got scored on, it would have been an uproar. Exactly. I mean, Mikey got scored on. We're a little more calm. Ain't nobody saying nothing. You know what I mean? We shouted him out for his fumble recovery and all this, but that would have been St. Jude.
Man,
he's been all over the blogs. Win or lose, lose or draw. He's catching the heat.
But what do I say all the time? What do I say this league is? What have you
week
done
to week?
Yeah,
what you done for me is week to week.
So he's done more for us lately, so we'll excuse that from him versus St. Jude. He ain't done nothing for us, so we can't excuse that. Yeah. We got to hold you to the fire every time you get clipped.
It's crazy.
To St. Jude's credit, he's been playing better Since we got Lattimore on the team, he's been playing
Nah,
better.
that first game with Lattimore, after Lattimore
He's
walked
been
him
playing
through,
better.
that first game got cooked. Mike Evans game, Mike Williams game, he got cooked. But after
He's
that,
been playing better.
Yeah, it was San Francisco on the first touchdown, and then on the second touchdown when they were actually in the red zone, NWI. I don't feel like saying that whole last name. I call him NWI, no NWO. Caught it on Jeremy Chin. Chin was just right, like a yard behind us. That was purely safety play.
Yeah, that's purely like Chin is on his heels is on the he's in the end zone and the guy just catches it. He breaks the plane.
And he had just broken that plane too by like three blades of grass.
Yeah. Somebody just asked, "We look good today. Why are we complaining?"
We're not complaining.
We're not complaining. We're just talking the facts. We talked about the good and everything. We shouted everybody out for their accolades, but we also want to talk about the improvement. Just because we got a victory don't mean you just sit and talk about all the good stuff. We got to talk about what ways we can improve, because if you looked at that Philadelphia Eagles team that just played the Ravens and just beat the Ravens, and then they've been beating the shit out of everybody for real the last few weeks. Like, they're turning up. That's our bar. That's who we trying to compete
Philly,
with.
the Lions.
If we want to make a move or make a push in the playoffs or anything, we got to be trying to do on that level. So it ain't about complaining. It's just simply about stating the facts and rolling with it. It is what it is.
Because I'm an artist, for those who don't quite follow me. There's a difference between complaining and critiquing. There's a different playing field. If you're complaining about something, what we did again, at post Dallas, post Philly, that's complaining, saying, "Hey, what did we just witness?" Saying Juice, saying Groovy, like, that's complaining. Critiquing is, "Hey, Gonzalez is missing these field goals. He's been money all year. Something's on a disconnect. Hey, Jayden looked rough last week, but he's put up a show and reclaimed until the Broncos play on Monday or whenever his offensive rookie of the year race. There's a difference between complaining. I understand where they come from, saying, why are we talking about the negativity? Good, bad, and ugly. Win, lose, or draw, we're gonna talk about it.
Well, I'm gonna say I'm complaining and I'm critiquing at the same time. It is what it is. Anybody that's ever played athletics, you don't just say, "Oh, pat you on the back. Oh, we played good. We won the game." No, you go into the next week and self-scout. It's called a self-scout. Self-scout yourself and figure out what you did wrong and how you can improve on that, so those same mistakes don't come in 3 weeks down the line and cost you a football game.
Yeah,
we may escape with a win this week or last week or the week before, but every week those things add up, and that causes you losses. So if you want to improve or you want to do anything, like, you got to pull that up, and that's what they do on Tell the Truth Monday, right? The coaches go on and all of this stuff that we're talking about here on this podcast. Who are we? We're just three dudes that's fans that talking about a team we love. That's it. So but they're doing the same exact thing.
So going back, it was going back to the comments as I read further down. My bad, y'all. So they was talking about the guy in the comments that was complaining, not necessarily us particularly, but even with reading his comments, he's kind of stating some good facts. He's saying that, against the better teams, we're a little off a little bit, and he's saying we only dominate the bum teams. I wouldn't necessarily say Tennessee is bum or but because they just beat the Texans last week. They, over the last few weeks, they done turned up. So they definitely still relevant, and they're not a slouch. As you see the second half, they kind of, try to, pick it up and get back into the game. But, it does make some sense on, like we just stated, the Eagles, the Ravens, the Steelers. Shit, we just lost to Dallas. Who we got left? We got the Saints.
We got Saints,
the
Philly,
Falcons. We got
Atlanta,
Philly,
Dallas.
and Dallas. We left. So them some key games, that we need to go ahead and capitalize on. So, like you said, you got to take the good with the bad, though, for sure.
And let's not get it twisted. Like, people get it. We put up 463 yards on Tennessee. we put up 267 rushing yards. This is a team that has been this front has only been allowing 99 to 100 yards a game.
Yeah,
rushing.
Top 5 defense.
Like, stop it. Like, this was a good team.
Yeah.
Good defensive team. You know.
Yeah.
Willis had Zach. What's his name? Levis. Levis has been kind of
Will Levis. Yeah.
Now he's not the greatest of quarterbacks, but he's been hooping. Because I've been telling Z, like, did you see that 98-yard bomb he threw? Like, just watching him highlights the last few weeks is like, I was worried in this game. I thought it could be another trap game for us.
Yeah. And it could have been because NWI had dropped like 3 balls. Pollard had dropped 2 balls. Ridley had dropped there were 6.
2 to 3.
Yeah. Like NWI had 2 to 3 crucial drops that would have been first downs or long plays. Now, I'm not going to, sit here and say, well, it could have been a lot closer if he had made those, because we'll never know. He could have been, fumbled or, dropped it or whatnot. But we're going to talk about it regardless. That's going back to what Reedie was saying, is up on these Mondays, you don't hear how these locker rooms, Belichick, Saban, Kirby Smart, Andy Reid, giving guys flowers without saying, hey, but by the way, this play right here, let me turn on the film. Hey, so what happened here on this coverage where you got Burton beat for 65 yards? There's pros and cons with everything. Will Levis isn't going to knock your socks off. But, I mean, the mailman's going to give you, a little something each game. The first 6 weeks he was giving you memes. The last 6 he's giving you a few touchdowns if you're a Titans fan. So it's, the football gods giveth and the football gods taketh.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, today the big disappointment for me, Marshawn Lattimore being inactive. I definitely thought that, with coming this week and practicing, he would be able to, hop on that field. And I know we talked about all the different scenarios and possibilities in the week prior. Me and Reedie talked about it on our show. We talked about it on Rio. And, we discussed that, maybe he won't come back until New Orleans. Maybe he comes back to Tennessee. I personally would have liked to see him get his feet wet this week, especially in a game like this, go into the bye and come back ready against the Saints. But Reedie called and said he's going to be ready against the Saints. So we'll see if that works out and be that way. But if he don't play against the Saints, then something the hell is up.
Yeah. No, if for those who watch my show, first off, road to 500 subscribers. But no, I was with Reedie on this one. Is hold him till the bye. Get him to 6 weeks since the bye week, because hamstring injuries are not fun. We just saw Dak tear his off the bone a few weeks ago. Now he's done for the season, and he might not even make it to training camp in this summertime. So he's out 8 months. Hamstrings are 4 to 6. Well, Philly, Dallas, Pittsburgh, and I'm missing. What was the one right before Philly? Was that the Bears game?
Right before Philly was the Steelers.
Steelers, Philly, Cow. Yeah, that's right. And then this. So there's 4 games. So there's 4 weeks. Bye gets you to 5th. So yeah, so you're pretty much at the 4 to 6 week recovery time for a hamstring.
Yeah, he was out 2 weeks before that.
And he was so out too. So now we're at 7. Gets you to 8. AP and DQ knew what they were getting themselves into. They had said it during I think it might have been pregame press conference early in the week, or would have been last week, we knew Marshawn wasn't 100%, but we're going to get him there, and we like what he wants for this team. So that's why we're trading him now for future success. If we wanted someone now, they probably would have gone out and traded for a Greg Newsome, for Denzel Ward, for, you would have signed someone someone still got value. No, they knew these next few games are going to be tough, but they got guys in the locker room that they, are going to play hard-nosed football. So when it comes to the bye, and that 4-game stretch is going to make or break your season, because you can either win 4 straight, win 2, win 3, lose 2, whatever. You want that for the end. If you got him on the field against the Steelers and then he tears his hamstring, well, now you have nothing to show for the 3rd round pick you gave up.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a couple of comments saying as long as he's ready for Philly, needs someone to lock down AJ. The deal with Lattimore is long term, not just this season. definitely a long-term deal. You know what I mean? I was just thinking earlier, maybe they wanted to go in and trade for him now and get him before, say, the off season where he could have been on the block and dangled more and might have would have cost more for other teams being in the mix. Or, you know, maybe they saw a situation where he had you know what I mean, could potentially hit the market or something and end up elsewhere. So they made their move now to kind of sure things up and to end up being a situation where they get him cheaper now than what it may cost him if he was to hit the open market or something like that. So you never know what Adam Peters is cooking up over there. But thus far it's been strategic and smart. So, you know, I'm sure they did their homework on that. And another comment now, it's our job to go into next week and rest. Get the get the mind and the body right during the bye and come back more hungry and ready to compete. You know what I mean? I myself don't typically like bye weeks, but bruh, I'm excited about this bye week because it's been, like we said, it'll be 14 weeks. You know what I mean? Just the consecutive of games. I was telling somebody earlier, like I'm just happy that we don't come back to this stadium until the 22nd. We got like 2-3 weeks off. Well, I ain't got to worry about thinking about doing no tailgating. I ain't got to worry about thinking about going to no game. I can just sit at home for the bye and sit at home for New Orleans with my feet up and just kind of rest and relax a little bit. Because going to these games and lugging all this stuff to these tailgates is not for the weak, especially when it's just you and Reedie doing all the, you know, majority of the work last couple of weeks. We had people out, so yeah, it was a lot of work. So I just, you know what I mean, it was today felt good to kind of pull up to the stadium, just go in the game, and just I got there early. I was up at my, you know what I mean, I was up there well before kickoff, walking around, you know what I mean, scoping the scene, got to get the free item before the game. We've been missing that shit all season. So you know what I mean, today was definitely like a chill day. I just got to observe. And then I definitely want to shout out my man. I'm leaving the stadium and I just hear somebody yelling, Z, Z, Z. I'm looking like, who the hell is calling me? And then it was a young fella, and he got out the car. He was excited. Oh my God, man! I was just telling them about you and Reedie and Z. Hopped out the car, man. I gotta get this picture. Took a picture with and everything. His name is Shane. Man, that was mad love, man. It just definitely, you know what I mean, me and Reedie, we do this thing. And John as well, you know what I mean? We do this thing and we do it because we love it. But to kind of get that feedback from people excited about what we do and excited to see us, like I felt like a celebrity a little bit. You know what I mean? I don't really be on that. I be chilling. But, you know, it was definitely, I told Shane, I was like, man, I thank you. That's love. Told him we was going to follow him back on the page, and I did that because it was it was a great feeling, man, just to kind of, you know what I mean, get that love from people because, you know what I mean, it's a struggle. You know what I mean? It's a struggle making these episodes, making this content. You know, you don't get all the likes you want or the subscribers you think you need or have. And, you know shit get real. So it's definitely love. It was a great feeling. I always tell Reedie, man, it's people watching us. So we just got to keep pushing. And, you know what I mean? That was definitely confirmation. So shout out to Shane and shout out to God for revealing to me that, you know what I mean, we working and we doing our thing. Yeah, for sure.
You might want to watch out. Z's saying celebrity now. I'm like, wait a minute.
No, see, it's real, man. Because, you know, I live in Baltimore. I don't live in the city no more. So people came up to me. It was the summertime. Guy came up to me. 2 guys came up to me. Matter of fact, it was like, yo, you the first was like, you Z. I was like, nah, I'm Reedie. They was like, oh yeah, man, we watch y'all. When y'all come in, we waiting for y'all to drop. Because we really wasn't dropping no content because there really wasn't nothing to be dropped. You know, in the summertime, leading into the season, it's a struggle for content and to, you know, stay engaged with on the page and stuff like that and continue that growth and stuff like that. But that was just, you know, that just was love. Like people all the way out of Baltimore, far from DC. I mean, not that far, but, you know, far from DC. You know, this ain't our fan base out here at all.
Yeah,
at all. This is Ravens country.
Nah, for real. I hold in the comments too. I just saw Full Raps Mike. I remember I seen Reedie out Baltimore and said I watch our podcast, Show Love. He was with his family. Yeah, that's the day.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm talking about.
that's the journey talking about. That was the day I got when I could. Next time I called him, Reedie wife was, y'all some celebrities. Y'all out here. We all in Baltimore and yeah, y'all out here. She was popping her shit. So that was lit, man. That was lit. Shout out to you, Mike, man. Much love. So yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, next up the bye week. What's y'all most exciting thing for the bye week for real? Other than resting up, what's something that y'all gonna do this bye week?
Me personally, just
because it's a bye week for us too.
It's Christmas coming up, so that grind of Christmas and trying to provide and stuff that's weighing heavy. So probably just doing a little bit more working and a little bit more free time, extra work I can do, more overtime or something like that. But I'm going to be depressed on Sunday because it's always like, during the week they're going to give us some content and we're going to be able to listen to the sports talk radio. But then when Sunday come around, it's just like, man, your team don't play. Like, I don't know about y'all. Like, if we lose, I won't watch another football. Like, I don't even want to consume none of it. Like I gotta watch our game and then I'll watch other people's games. But it's weird when we're on the back. Like, I don't know.
I'll watch it for fantasy football reasons. I'll be like, all right, I need so and so to perform. I need Saquon to ball. I need Brock Bowers to ball. And Brock Bowers is someone people don't give love to. That man is on his way out in Las Vegas.
Oh yeah, shout out to Brock.
Coming out,
man.
Coming out.
Yes,
Brock no Lesnar Bowers is on his way.
Yes, sir.
Being one of the best tight ends because he's gonna break some rookie record, whether it's receptions, receiving yards, or touchdowns as a rookie tight end. Because that man is on his way. I mean, they got him and Michael Mayer, which Michael Mayer I haven't seen him do anything this year. So my props to Double M for so someone took your job within a year. But that being said, not fantasy, I'll do that. But not projects I got to work on. I might need to drop some mock draft episodes. The way we looking at Reedie was calling me out the other day and saying it's too early. We still in the hunt for doing mock drafts. I'm like, it just brings me joy seeing how I can help this team. But nah, he right though. It is a little early.
No, I was thinking like, bro, don't be trying to jinx us. We're trying to go on a run. You talking about mock drafts? We ain't them no more. Like,
people talking about with the 15th pick, the Commanders like, nah, chill. I'm trying to be in the 20th. Yeah, in the 20s.
Yeah. Even if we finish, let's call it 10-7. Let's call it 10-7. Finish, with a winning record, we make the wild card. That gets us to 22-23. I ain't seen that number in like a decade.
Yeah, we always been stuck at like 11 or 12 because we keep going 8-8 and 7-9.
Between 9 and 17 was our sweet spot. I'm like, can I just move up in the world sometime? Can I just go to the 20 club once? And I'm gonna sound like a Cowboys fan. It's our year. No. It looks like we could do it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna knock on wood and say we do a little bit better than 10-7. If we go 11-6, 12-5, well, it's too late for 12-5. So 11 and
no, we 8-5 now.
No, 12-5. But knock on wood, if we can get there, that gets us to 25-26. Because 32-28 is your championship games. But we get between 21 and 26. I ain't gonna complain. There's some talent I like there. I'm doing some scouting. Me and Adam and Neba and Justin, we did it last year. We're gonna do it this year. We're doing scouting reports. I'm building a big board. I'm gonna have about 15 people at each position saying, all right, receiver, I like Trey Harris. I like Territo McMillan. I like Jaden Higgins. I like Jalen Royals. Corner, Jade Barron. I like Trey Amos. Siobhan Ravel out of ECU. I like the kid. Like, there's going to be some of that going on. So I might have to drop an official one going into this bye week. Because it's just fun to mess around. While you got free time, it's fun to mess around.
Yeah, for sure. I think I'm going to just chill. Definitely, Well, we're going to New York Friday to a concert, but we come back Saturday. So I'm gonna just chill and just kind of give my wife that time she be asked for when I'm gone at these tailgates. So I'm gonna just chill with her, give her that time, and then get ready for the following week, and then go from there.
Yeah.
So you gonna put the Eagles gear on this week?
Oh nah, hell to the nah. She gonna say today. I say, damn, your team's in Baltimore, and you ain't even go see your team. Like you never even mentioned it. She's like, yeah, that's because you wouldn't have went to the game with me. I said, yeah, I'm not paying $300 some to go see some other team. You know what I mean? I do it for my team, but I ain't going to see your team and somebody else. Hell no.
And the Eagles won because Saquon is just that dude. He might be MVP, even though it's a QB award. Saquon might be MVP.
Saquon really didn't do much until like
fourth quarter,
late run. I mean, he was
same thing did against us.
Yards, but it's some little 40-yard runs that's kind of like making him.
Yeah, I mean,
no hate on him. He good, but he got the 100 yards this week. But it really wasn't.
Imagine that run that B Rob got in the first quarter, that on that drive when his first run and scored on. Saquon has about 3 or 4 of them a game. Like 3 or 4 of those a game. You know what I mean? B Rob got that. I stood up, I'm like, oh my God. Breakaway, he running, he ain't gonna catch him. I was like, I got hype. But
I was watching, I'm like, where's the ankle? Because I ain't seen no ankle issues on this 40-yard dash.
He running like he ain't had no ankle issue at all. He looked a little faster today.
He showed a little burst too.
Yeah, like where'd it come from?
I was like, is that Marshawn off the field? I saw a little burst. Is that Marshawn?
Yeah, for sure.
Man, so someone we gotta give credit. We brought him up earlier before we get out of here. Terry McLaurin, man.
Yeah, Mr. Stay Down.
Terry 2 TDs, and it's coming week after week after week. He's third in receiving yards this season behind Jay Jettas and Jamar Chase, who are already over 1,000 yards. But he's at 896. He's gonna break 1,000 in the next 4 weeks. He might break 1,111 TDs if we give him a touchdown every game. He's at 13 TDs. This is the most touchdowns he's had his entire career, and it's only week 13. We got 4 more games to play.
Yeah, Terry is hooping for sure, having a great year.
Because I remember it was us, Tone, Josh, other fellas. I think it was last offseason. I don't think it was quite. I'm not going to put y'all on this, but I remember us going live with all of them and saying, if Terry's putting up these numbers with another team, would we be sitting here complaining that, oh, is Terry a receiver 1? Oh, is he the alpha? Is he the 1A or the 1B? This season has shown, even though he'll do 50, 120, 85, 50, 17, 100, like he'll go like a really bad heartbeat, just up and down until he flatlines. But he's showing he's finally, getting that consistent QB play that he hasn't had in 5 years, and 12 quarterbacks later. He's going to be consistently looked at, although Cliff needs to do a little bit better getting him the ball. This is the first true game. You're like, oh, there's Terry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, we good. But if we can keep doing this for the next year or so, I think he's going to be talked about from undervalued, underlooked, overlooked kind of thing to be like, no, Terry's a quality guy. He's going to be in a top 12 conversation. He's a third best receiver when it comes to yards this season.
Yeah, definitely for sure.
I'm just glad that he started moving them around.
I was just about to say that he moved them around today. He was able to do his thing
on the field side of the field the whole game. Like move him around, like get different matchups, different looks. You know what I'm saying? And then if they try to double team you, bring him inside. Like they said, that helps somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Somebody else.
Correct.
I think the first pass they threw him for the 10 yards, he was on the right. I'm looking like 17 on my right hand side.
Nah, for real. Yeah, facts.
Hello.
Facts.
It took you 12 weeks to do that.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Cliff must hurt everybody this week,
man.
That's what somebody said on a post. Cliff was listening.
Yeah, he was listening to everybody. I'm talking about first play of the game. What was that, like an 8-yard throw?
Straight 10-yard. It was straight to Terry.
Then the next play was to Noah Brown.
Noah Brown for
he
9.
ended up getting a 9-yard, like just moving the ball. And then B-Rob just took off, just moving the ball and just being aggressive. Like it seemed like every first down we was aggressive this game. That's something we ain't really seen, since early on. And it just was like, damn, we Cliff cooking today. I ain't gonna say we back, but we cooked today.
We did something. Hey, first drive, 3 plays, 59 yards, a minute 10 seconds.
Mm-hmm. And look at the touchdown to Ertz. That was mean. Wide the fuck open. Right. But yeah.
So do we think Cliff stays or do we think Cliff's going to the Bears, like the speculation?
He's staying.
I ain't paying none of that no attention. I'm not.
I only like Z, you're totally right. We should be paying attention. He's staying, but not because he his Jayden connection and he's on a 3-year contract.
Mm-hmm.
He's going on to year 2 unless they have some stipulation saying unless they're going to match the offer, give us the money back, and we have time to get a replacement. You are here another year. So at the very least, we have the next year with him. Now, if year 3 comes and he gets like the not Dallas Cowboys because they're going to keep Mike McCarthy. If he gets the Buccaneers head coaching job because Baker's contract will be expired by then maybe he'll go because he said, hey, I can get a head coaching job here. It's a good organization. They've got great he can start there. Cool. He ain't leaving next year. No. He ain't going to the Bears.
I don't think so.
Caleb Williams. He ain't going to Chicago to tell Ryan Poles, hey, we should draft Kenneth Grant to go help out defensive line. You know what, Cliff? That's such a great idea. Hey, let's go draft an offensive guard at the 9th overall pick. Like, really? He is here, locked in another year, just contractual obligations.
I think he's gonna be beyond that. I think him and Jayden is definitely gonna be on there. They're gonna be married together for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you don't just walk away from Jayden Daniels being your quarterback. Like, it's just. I don't see that happening.
He wants to be a head coach. This is his second.
But he's been a head coach, and he. I don't remember. I don't think he got fired. I think he resigned, and he left and took a hiatus and went to Thailand.
Thailand.
He went to Thailand for like a year or two. Clear his mind.
I don't think it was that long because he was at USC last year as OC.
It was like a year and a half then.
Year at least.
He was a consultant at USC.
Or an offensive. It was some. You're right. I don't think it was quite OC, but you were like, no, he feels like OC to Caleb Williams. Like you could there was that little fine line. It's like Jerry in the Cowboys. Mike McCarthy's the head coach, but it's Jerry's team. Like Lincoln Riley was coaching the team. But you knew Cliff was in Caleb's ear saying, hey, by the way, that pass right there, beautiful. But if you move it 6 centimeters left and you turn that hand this way, you're going to get it. There's that fine line. Because he was going to go to the Raiders. Yeah. They offered him a 3-year job as head coach. And he said, it's a really great deal. But Jayden over here.
Hard ass.
He turned to the rock. He's going to turn that son bitch sideways and go.
Hard ass.
Yeah, I think he's definitely still getting paid by Arizona.
Yeah.
Gotta be at this rate.
For sure. So and even in the opening press conference, he talked about how, he has less desire to be a head coach and he loves the fact of just worrying about the offense. Just having a lesser role and you don't have to oversee everything. So I believe him in that because, like I said, the way he kind of walked away from the game and then took a hiatus, came back, and, he went the college route trying to rebuild it. I think he's doing a lot of things intentional, and he just being real with himself. I personally don't think he's going to run off and be a head coach just yet. But you never know. So, yeah. But yeah, any other thing y'all want to bring up? Talk about anything we miss?
I think we just about covered it. I mean, we can talk. I mean, unless y'all did it earlier in the week and I done missed it. Reedie had kind of brought up earlier that we had cut Son Forbes, as the French would say.
Yeah, I'm not too.
I think it was time. It's a tough. Like I was texting in all the groups. I was saying I'm kind of bothered by it. I'm bothered by us.
I'm not bothered at all.
Only because not necessarily the player, but I'm bothered by the previous regime. It just like brought up all of those negative feelings that I had towards the previous regime of they fucked us over. Like,
but but it's I've been quiet about you and that little sentiment you've been having. But that was your regime. You loved those guys. You loved the Martys and the Rons and all of them. And then you even talked about how Ron left us in this great position and got us the second pick and all this shit. Like,
I did say that.
Yeah, so.
But I never said that Ron was my. Hold on. Let's be clear.
Tell the truth, shame the devil, Jerice.
Let's be clear. When I was saying, fuck Ron, I don't want nothing to do with Ron. Oh, Ron, I trust. Ron, I trust. That
was when Ron first got here.
Come on, Reedie, you need to da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
This was year one of Ron. Year one. Year 4, Reedie was drinking the Kool-Aid, and man, I don't like how we let we kind of going in on Ron. You know what I mean? He kind of going out.
The only reason why I say
going out in style. He kind of being professional about it. Like, shut that shit up. Fuck Ron.
I feel like they gave Ron got a bad shape. Like some of the stuff wasn't his with the team with the Daniel Snyder shit wasn't his fault, and he had to deal with that. He couldn't just be a football coach. He had to deal with all of that extra shit. That's all I was saying.
Well, that's what he signed up for. He knew he was more than a football coach.
But that was originally your man.
He
pulled me along and got me to start liking him. And now
hey,
you're a wild
I
boy.
see. Hey, when Ron came to this organization, we needed structure, and I felt like he was a great candidate for just that. He came in. He kept talking about the culture, changing the culture. And it just after a while, like after he and even in the first year, you go get Fitzmagic to be your quarterback. So it just was a little questionable. But when he went and traded for Wentz, I was done. I was done after that. Because like you went and got this bum. And then Howell's in practice killing this guy. You still starting this dude. Like stop. Heineke's in practice doing better than him, and you worried about Wentz. He tried to make something out of Wentz. You gave up a high pick for him, which was trash. Luckily, you didn't re-sign him when we was able to get out of that deal. But, like, Wentz was just a disaster, and Ron just tried to – and then remember at the end of the season, he went and flipped, and Wentz came back. He let Wentz start over Heineke when he was trying to make a push.
Against Cleveland. And
had me thinking that Wentz was the better person for that game. I remember even talking about it on the pod, like, what Ron was saying is true. We should start Wentz. And people was going on me and Reedie for that.
That Jacksonville game had us all in a genjutsu.
Yeah.
That Jacksonville game said Carson Wentz, he's a top QB.
He had a TD.
And they lied to us.
He had a TD to Terry, 2 TDs to Dotson. He had a TD to Samuel. We had like 4 TDs that game. I remember that game like it was yesterday.
Through 2 TDs in the Tennessee game to the Ahmed Abba's career game.
Now that game I was asleep.
Lost us the game. Lost us that game.
That game I was asleep.
Carson Wentz. I knew the moment I'm thinking, all right, Ron come in.
I remember the Army school.
Man, the moment I knew Ron had started, I don't even say losing locker room, but he just wasn't all there. The Jamin Davis pick. I said you had Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah.
Right, that's what I wanted. I wanted JOK.
Back then, when I couldn't even.
Bro, that's what
I was saying you could have had JOK because I did not want to try to pronounce that last name. But Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. You could have had Christian Darrisaw. You could have traded back and get yourself a Nick Bolton because Nick Bolton should have won Super Bowl MVP against Philly when he had like a interception, a fumble, and should have had 2 interceptions. But that's neither here nor there. All right, you trade back. You take Jahan, you get B-Rob out the deal. You think you got a QB in Sam Howell. You got a blocker and then an OPI specialist in John Bates. All right, 1.5 out of 4 because Howell was hit and miss. That was our guy last.
Not even thinking we got a quarterback in Howell because B-Rob first year it wasn't Howell. It was that was Wentz.
Yeah. All right, so I'm thinking. All right, so that draft wasn't the worst. 2023 comes around. We are all thinking, no way Christian Gonzalez falls to 16. So we're all thinking, all right, so we're gonna go edge rusher, we're gonna go tackle, maybe we go receiver to bring Terry help, and then you see Gonzo fall, and we're all thinking it's a slam dunk home run. Call me Shohei Ohtani because it's a home run. Call me Shaq because it's a slam dunk. Me Andrew live on YouTube for this our first draft live. We sitting pretty at 16 thinking, all right, the Washington Commanders select. We're thinking Christian Gonzalez. It's saved. We good to go. We here, and the Washington Commanders select Emmanuel Forbes, corner, Mississippi State. I said, Ron done lost the plot. He done jumped the shark. And after that, you could tell that 22 season he was losing locker room. That 23 season, he done lost the organization.
Yeah.
And I had Cowboys fans, Cowboys can fans, shout out to the fellas. I had members of other teams saying, y'all good with Sleepy Joe? I mean, Ron Rivera back there? Because he done lost the team. I said, I've been saying this for a year.
And Ron used to stand on that sideline the whole damn time. Don't budge. Just standing there, don't nothing.
Yep. And as soon as he had an emotion, he would turn that headset on and said,
Fucking Ron, man. That's Reedie guy.
You want to know who had
I got this guy talking.
That's Reedie.
You want to know who Jason Garrett had more emotion than Ron Rivera on the side.
That is Reedie, man.
Okay.
Ron is definitely your man.
And
all I said was he didn't deserve all of the
he deserved everything he got
because of the Dan Snyder
he
stuff.
Deserved it all.
Now on the field stuff, he deserved all of it.
Yeah,
but all of that stuff that he got because of the all of that other extra
Dan Snyder
and Jack Del Rio
cancer mid-season. Like I've said this to Andrew and Chris and the fellas. Ron Rivera, the person, you beat cancer during the season. You're like that. The man, I love, respect,
absolutely,
admiration.
Absolutely.
Like everyone in the media says he's a class act. He was on Barstool and they treated him with nothing but respect, and duly noted and well, fully so. The coach, you done lost the job halfway through your second season, and you were brought back just so new ownership could see what we really had. The 23 season was an evaluation, and you done got an F-. You know how hard that is to get an F-. The Browns did that a few years ago, 0-16. You done near got the first overall pick, and you probably would have lost it a while ago.
He would have drafted Caleb.
It reminded me when the Colts the Texans done beat the Colts with that 2-point conversion when they should have had the number 1 overall pick, but instead the Texans got C.J. Stroud. We got lucky to get Jayden Daniels the way we did, going 4-13.
Yeah, for sure.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Where he said, "I'm done."
Dan Snyder, happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, crazy.
Well, that does it for this episode. Do us a favor, like, share, subscribe. Man, go follow Ballin In Burgundy Podcast. The good fellas John, Justin, Chris, and Andrew.
Drew.
A good podcast over there doing good work. Go give them a follow on Instagram and all other platforms that they're on. And until we talk again, we're going to holler at y'all.
No question. Over and out.
See y'all.